Second.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for DeKalb, Illinois, this Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. Could we start with a roll call, please?
Becker, O'Flaherty,
Here.
Pena Graham, Stoker,
Here.
Wright,
Here.
McMahon,
Here.
Maxwell,
Here.
5 present.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the approval of the agenda, if there are any additions or deletions. If not, I will ask for a motion to approve.
I move to approve as submitted.
Moved by O'Flaherty,
Second.
seconded by Wright. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. We'll move to the minutes of the meeting from May 15th, 2023, if there are any additions or deletions. If not, I will ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Wright,
Second.
seconded by McMahon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, same sign. This is the public participation portion of the meeting. If anyone has anything to say that is not on the agenda, but since there's no one here, we will move on to new business. We have a public hearing, a petition by the City of DeKalb for text amendments to the UDO to amend Article 5.11 LI Light Industrial District and Article 5.12 Heavy Industrial District to add the use of cannabis craft grower as a special use, and to Article 7.18 cannabis business establishment to amend the definition for a cannabis business establishment to include adult use cannabis craft growers, adding setback requirements and parking requirements for adult use cannabis craft growers, and other miscellaneous amendments. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, Chair. In your packets is a report. So what we're looking at simply is to kind of expand what we allow for cannabis business establishments. We tend to, the petition proposes to add to the UDO adult use cannabis craft growers as a special use in the light industrial and also the heavy industrial district, and other associated amendments to the UDO. Craft growers are facilities are licensed by the state. They cultivate, dry, cure, and package cannabis. And now they're allowed to transport cannabis directly to dispensaries if they're within 15 miles. So if one came into the city, they'd be able to make deliveries to the 2 pending dispensaries which we've approved, and hopefully it'll be open by the end of summer here in the city. So craft grower, typically they locate in industrial type areas. Current state law, they're restricted to 5,000 square feet of space in terms of where they can grow them. That's not the whole building, that's where they're growing it inside. And there's a maximum of currently of 14,000 square feet if authorized by the State Department of Agriculture. I understand there's some pending law perhaps that will expand the square footage there, but that's the current regulations. So we've received inquiries in the past about does DeKalb allow craft growers. We tell them at this point no, but we're proposing to add that in to the UDO. So there's some additional amendments also, or add some parking, signage requirements. The majority of these regulations mirror the state requirements, which are pretty restrictive, like dispensaries. So for craft growers, they have similar type regulations. So a little history, of course, the law in Illinois took effect on January 1st, 2020. Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act to allow cannabis sales in the state. And there's about 6 types of businesses. We allowed the dispensaries in November 2019, where we added the recreational onto the medical cannabis dispensaries allowed. We allowed them as a special use. At that time, the city council looked at the other business establishments as something we'd look at maybe down the road. So this is kind of a next step in that expansion. So we could look at other communities, the law, how it shapes out. So then in March, we did a few other amendments. We allowed dispensaries in the CBD district with a special use, moved a setback to residential areas for dispensaries. And then After that, we do have a couple of special use permits that were issued with dispensaries, as you know, one at Junction Shopping Center, and one just approved earlier this year at 305 East Locust Street, and both of those will be working this summer to open hopefully by the end of August. So the specific amendments are laid out in the staff report. We're adding the craft growers as a special use in the light industrial and heavy industrial district. And those are in our Article 5. Article 7, where we have a specific section on cannabis business establishments, where we amend the definition for cannabis business establishment to add the craft grower to it. Again, repeating, adding it as special use in the light industrial, heavy industrial district, and also in the planned development industrial district. If we had one that did allow that as a special use, that could be included too. And mirroring a state law that adult use cannabis craft growers must be at least 1,500 feet from another craft grower. In terms of parking, again, these are manufacturing type facilities, so we're adding a parking requirement that matches the requirement for manufacturing in the city. That's one space for every employee on the maximum shift. So that should accommodate the parking. And then there's a standard, a lot of changes related to making sure they comply with local law regarding signage, advertising, and state law, and local building and fire codes in the UDO. So there's an attachment that lists the specific amendments. There's a sample motion here that refers to that exhibit. So this seems like a logical next step to add craft growers to the list of establishments in the city. Yeah, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. We have City Manager Nicholas here. And also City Attorney Matt Rose is here via Zoom audio. Matt, can you hear us?
He looks to be on mute.
Can you hear us, Matt? You're on mute, I believe.
Yes, Dan, I'm sorry. Yes, I can hear you just fine. I'm sorry. And sorry I couldn't be there in person, but thank you for allowing me to appear here and here to answer any questions as well.
So if there's any questions for three of us, we'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. And since there are no comments from the public, I'll close the public hearing and open it up to the Commission for questions and comments. To me, I agree. I think it's the next logical step. And since, you know, all the security measures are in place by the state, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, the state has a very comprehensive framework already set up, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Why is each one termed adult use? Is there, I mean, is that, it seems to be,
That's just a terminology I think the
Self-evident.
state put in the regulations for the cannabis business establishment. So it's basically broken down between medical and, which we had for a while before the recreational adult use, they call it, was added.
so would the term adult use be taking the place of recreational?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Seems
one and
like-
the same,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Well, I would guess adult use implies that it's 21 and over.
Yeah,
Yes, they're synonymous. They're the same.
Not that everyone that's over 21 is an adult, but
yeah.
okay. If there aren't any other questions, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. Based on the submitted petition and testimony presented, I move the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend to the City Council approval of text amendments to the Unified Development Ordinance regarding the addition of adult use cannabis craft grower as a special use in the LI light industrial and HI heavy industrial district and other associated amendments as indicated in Exhibit A attached to the staff report.
So moved by O'Flaherty. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Stoker. May I have a roll call, please?
Flaherty?
Yes.
Stoker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Maxwell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. I believe we had an update from Mr. Nicholas.
Yeah, Bill will mention a good little update on Hillcrest and Blackhawk, a little development there. Our next scheduled meeting is 3rd of July. We have 3 of the members, when we called, Stephanie called around before, that will be absent, so do that date. We'll probably be canceling that meeting. We'll do that the week before. The next meeting after that, second one in July, be the 17th. We have a couple hearings pending, or will be set for their fence variance on South 8th Street, and also the Naring properties. City Council approved a development agreement last fall that sets up rezoning those properties. They bought some additional ones on East Lincoln Highway. I think there's about 20 pins or parcels in all that will be rezoning, requesting to the Planned Development Industrial District per that agreement approved last fall. So we're setting that up for July 17th.
Okay. Thank you.
Just a couple quick notes of interest. Dan mentioned the discussion continues with both NIU and also with DeKalb County Community Gardens about the potential use for it's been known as the L. It's the property owned by the city along Hillcrest and Blackhawk. And there will not be something on the council agenda on Monday, the 26th, concerning that, but potentially the first meeting in July, which is the 10th of July, I believe. So we'll see. We also have the local architect involved that we've had involved for the last couple of months, and listening and then drawing some renderings and site plans, and then discussing those and so forth. It helps sometimes to do that, move the conversation toward some points. And then I just wanted to mention that you've probably noticed, maybe you haven't, but down as you get to the Peace Road interchange, a lot of dust has been created recently. Good that the prevailing wind is out of the west and southwest, but it's all for Operation or Project Supernova, which is will hopefully within about 30 days we'll have an announcement to make. But commitment is there. There are other matters that have to be resolved before the full public announcement. But we're happy to say they're committed.
Exciting news. Thank you. Does anybody else have anything else? Okay. If not, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Wright.
I'll second.
Seconded by McMahon. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, everyone.